Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. How are you? Hi, Susie. Hi, Deb. Am I live? Yeah, I'm live, right? Okay. How you doing? Susie, you're the first in the house today. Deb, she beat you to it. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? If yes, give me 2 thumbs up. Hi, Deb. Susie says I had a quick peek on the off chance. Hi, all. I know, it's very sad. It's very sad. Oh, yeah. Just a thought while I am here by myself. Reminds me of the reading you did at New Year's with the 2 guys at the time who were US vets. Honestly, Susie, I, I don't remember which specific reading that is. You might have to refresh my memory. Good evening. Good. Okay. Did you know you have members only chat on? Yeah, I was wondering whether I should do that. Maybe I should edit it, right, and let others step in through here. Let me do that. Let me customization. I think I can change that. Anyone? Let me do that. Save. Because Wednesdays are supposed to be for members only, and then it's happening that I don't want to wait until Friday to do this case. So. Okay, I just changed that. Okay, so what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So you're saying keep it on? Yeah. Susie, I don't remember which case you're talking about. You have to remind me. Hi, Sunshine Dragonfly. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Susie, too. We haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you here. So, oops. We don't want everything hanging out, do we? I probably should get some lip balm, but you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to get up and go now. So, AR2001. Hello, can I please ask? Hello, AR, and welcome. If it is regarding this case, you sure can ask. What is your question, AR? Oh, we have an echo? Oh no. Let me see what's going on here. There shouldn't be an echo, but you know how that happens. So Peanut Shell, hi Peanut, I haven't seen you in a while. What is your question, AR2001? So usually when I do readings like this, it is, we are doing a particular case and the case is about Charlie Kirk who passed. What is your question? What question do you have? You said, can I ask a question? If your question is personal, then you have to wait until I'm done reading for this case. I'll be happy to answer your question. If it is regarding this case, then definitely go ahead and ask your question right now. Cheryl Kalamar. Hi Cheryl, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm so sorry, but there is no tape recording. There is an echo. It's not too bad of an echo. I'm so sorry, y'all. I have no idea what's going on. Let me try adjusting the volume. Let me go all the way down and back up again. Down, up. I don't know. Okay. You know how when things like this happen, we know what's going on, right? All right. So let's get started today. It's very unfortunate. It's all better. Okay. I just kind of reduced the volume and took it all the way back up. And by the way, what you're seeing over here is a reflection of my ring light. So just so you all know. Yesterday or day before I put up a video and it was the weirdest thing, y'all. I could literally see a reflection of a person standing here, like a side view, and then it was like almost the person was turning and looking like I could make out the face, the shoulders, the body, and then after a few minutes that went away, and then I saw a reflection of my, I have a Buddha wind chime hanging outside. I saw that reflection, but there was nobody at the window. So where is that human like thing coming from? I don't know. Susie, I don't know which case about those two beds, Susie. You have to remind me. Yeah, you saw that, Cheryl? That was interesting itself, right? Because there's nobody standing near the window. I can tell if anybody's standing near the window, and I'm like, what? So, a couple of things I want to say. First and foremost is, oh my God, Deb, she's crazy. Y'all, just so y'all know, Deb is crazy, okay? It's Karen Reed and then now it's Turtle Boy. But I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying it too. She made me watch some of those videos and I was like, good Lord, talk about drama. Are you serious? It's like, heck, we don't need to watch any television series or soap operas on the television. Just watch YouTube with some of these content creators. My goodness. Anywho, so one thing I wanted to say is I did take a little nap in the afternoon, actually at 4:30 for 20 minutes. I don't know where. I was the temperature reading. Okay, so I just kind of crashed. 20 minutes, I was gone. I don't know, like it. I was gone, and then for some reason, when I anyway got refreshed everything and came and sat here and kind of setting up, doing my calculations and all that stuff. The one name that kept popping up was Hudson. I don't know why, which relates to this case. Hudson is the name that's popping up. I have no idea. I'm just going to put it in the chat so that I will remember. Because the energy, like I sat down, I pulled up Charlie's date of birth and I was doing his calculation and Hudson kept repeating. So, don't know if that has anything to do with this case or not, but I'm pretty sure it does. Otherwise energies like that don't come through. You guys, Susie and Debbie are having a little sidebar session over here. Let's focus on this case, y'all. You guys are too funny. So Charles James Kirk, he was born on October 14th, 1993, and he passed on September 10th, 2025. First and foremost, rest in peace, Charlie, and condolences to his family. And he's got little kids, man. That's a tough one. So another thing I was just thinking about is, he's literally a year and 10 days older than my younger son. Oh my goodness. It's very devastating, very sad. And I did see that thing where the video where he was throwing out hats into the thing and to the crowd. And little did anybody know, literally within a couple of minutes, he'd be gone from this world. I mean, he'd be gone from this physical world. I mean, that always to me is devastating, y'all. It's like how fleeting life is. It's so fleeting. I mean, you can't even time it, right? It's like so fast. Like 1 micro millisecond, you're alive and the next you're gone. I mean, you can't even grasp it, right? That to me got me. I mean, I was like, this is crazy. I'm going to do, I think I might have done a reading on John. I don't know whether specifically him, but a group, but then I can do readings for individuals. I know I did say. Anyway, let's focus on this case because I'll get sidetracked, okay? We'll talk about that in a bit. So, when I saw that shot, the way the shot happened, like immediately, Deb is the one who told me, hey, Charlie Kirk is. So immediately I told her, I said, he's not going to survive that. There's no way you could survive that shot. No way you could survive it. The moment that shot happened, I was like, nah, he's not with us anymore. He's gone. It's like instantaneous. So it's very unfortunate. I mean, it was very graphic. And another thing I found like really interesting was usually when you have very graphic things like that on television news and all of that, they kind of blur it, right? They don't show you the exact second it happened. But surprise, surprise, it they showed it on TV, and they showed it on the news, and they showed it on all these social medias. No, don't apologize, Sunshine. We'll talk about it in a bit. I just don't want to kind of, how me, I will squirrel, I'll get distracted. So it's more for myself. So I was like, he's gone. He's not going to survive that. There's no way he could have survived that. So when they were saying like, oh, he's been taken to the hospital, he has a pulse and all that stuff, in my mind, I kind of like, nah, that's highly impossible. That's like impossible. Another thing I want to address is people are talking about some guy they found who's supposed to be I'm not going to mention names and all, some guy that they're saying that he is a registered Democrat and a far left activist, and he apparently has uploaded some videos threatening Charlie Kirk and things like that, and they're saying he's the shooter. I'm not so quick to believe that. I don't think so, because this is somebody who, and even the guy who they arrested, that older guy with that blue shirt or something, and they took him and they ran off. I was like, he doesn't look like a killer to me. He looks like just somebody wanting his 2 seconds of fame or whatever. I don't think he is responsible either. Oh, she goes, welcome to Silver. Oh, wow, Sunshine Dragonfly, look at you, girl. You go, girl. She's got the silver star. Awesome. So that's cool. So it is definitely, if you look at the shot and stuff like that, it's like one and done. Whoever did it is trained, who has excellent, control over, or knows ammunition and knows how to, the rifle and this, that and the other. It was a kill shot. It's supposed to be one and done, nobody else get hurt, one and done and be done with it. And perfectly executed. Now, when I say perfectly executed, I'm not saying that, oh, happy. No, that's not, I'm happy it was perfect. That's not what I'm saying. When I say it's perfectly executed, I mean, like, nobody else was hurt, and wherever they had positioned themselves or whatever, it was a clear shot, and there was no escaping this shot. That's what I mean when I say the shot was perfectly executed. Mark and I got into it a little bit, he got very upset with me, and the moment this thing popped up, and I told Mark, Debbie told me, told him turn on the TV, and I saw his face, I told Mark, I said, he had it coming. And Mark got very upset with me. He's like, what do you mean? Do you mean he deserved it? I said, no, let me clarify. I did not say he deserved it. When I say he had it coming, it is something that has transpired and that has escalated and has accumulated. The energy has accumulated, and it would have culminated in this unfortunate situation. That's what I mean. And I tried to explain it to Mark, but he got very pissed with me, and I was like, this is not the time to explain it to you, and I'll talk to you later. And subsequently I did. I said, this is what I meant, and he got immediately defensive. And I understand, and it's not like I have anything personal against Charlie. I don't know the man, just seen or heard of him on TV. In fact, when Debbie said Charlie Kirk has been shot at, I had to ask Mark. I said, turn on the TV, and by the way, who's the guy? And he reminded me, I'm not that, hi Delvin, I'm not that familiar with him. So again, when I say, that's the image I got, like he had it coming in the sense it was bound to happen to him. There was no escaping it. It was bound to, the energies were, it was accumulating. Exactly, Susie. Sarcasm or not, yeah, exactly. So let's get into this, right? I just wanted to explain that. So it's, very sad. Also, I was just thinking, I said, look at his age. I think people were very certain factions of society, and this is just my honest opinions, my observations, and allegedly this is for entertainment only. These are, my observations, my opinion. Do your own due diligence and draw your own conclusions, right? Certain factions who are responsible for actions like this, I don't think they were willing to risk another like a Martin Luther King type of a individual pop up and mobilize youngsters and youth. Now, hold your horses. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Yes, we know Martin Luther King. He was, tried to implement a lot of good things, etc. But there are people, every time you see a good person, there are people who say, oh, there is a bad person, right? There's always people who are going to disagree, but we are not character analysis and we are not character assassinating over here. That's not it. But the kind of, hi Melanie, thank you for being here. The kind of populace he had, the kind of energy brought, the kind of people he carried with him, mobilizing the youth of the country, etc. He would have gone a long, long way, right, in his career if he had stuck to politics or something like that. This guy would have been, at this young age, he's a force to reckon with. So definitely, moving on, he would have been, right? So, I couldn't have told you his name, but I knew his face. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just because you're right, I get it. He hadn't. Oh, I didn't know that. Susie Q. I had no idea about that. Oh, he would have been in Congress for sure. 100% he would have. So let's get on with it. So there are certain factions they would not have allowed him to continue in this path. I mean, it was a matter of time. And I was telling Mark also, I said, I don't know who he pissed off or who he annoyed. I mean, another thing I said was, when you want to play with the big boys, when you want to play with the wolves, you have to understand that there will be times when you are the hunter and there will be times when you become the hunted. So we have to be prepared for all of that, right? But either way, I mean, this was execution style, man. I mean, this is like with military precision, right? So this is somebody who's trained. This is not some, I'm pissed at you, so I'm going to get on the roof and I'm going to get a gun and blow you to, shoot at you kind of situation. This is somebody who's trained, who's prepared, who is who has a potential to compartmentalize emotions, energies, thoughts, feelings, etc. Very, very systematic kind of an individual. Very, very systematic. Very systematic. Very calm, cool, collected. Like kind of curly hair. Like not curly, but yeah, curly. Blondish curly hair. I don't know why that image is popping in my head. So let's get on with Lucinda. Hi. So let's look at his astrology chart really briefly before we get any further. And I'm going to read here because I didn't have time to print it out. So Charlie, his sun is in Libra, moon in Libra, right? Then he has Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Virgo, and Mars in Scorpio. Very interesting. He has Sun conjunct Jupiter, which is very interesting. Sun trine Saturn, Sun square Uranus, Sun square Neptune, Moon opposition with Lilith, Mercury conjunct Mars, and then I could go on. We'll Uranus conjunct Neptune, Saturn square Pluto. Some energy here. It's interesting. So for this individual, as far as Sun in Libra, intellectual, considerable, has a certain element of innocence, When I say innocence, I don't mean, oh, poor baby, you don't. No, that's not one. The freshness of energy that a lot of people find interesting and attractive. So even if he may be presenting a very serious subject, talking about a serious subject, his energy is so fresh and new that people are kind of a little bit more impressed. So there are times that they do enjoy balance in life, right? People with this Libra thingy, but the negative side of that is there could be, and again, y'all, this is astrologically speaking, there could be a reputation for untruthfulness. So meaning like people may think that, oh, you're just bah humbugging here, you're not speaking the truth and you're full of BS type of thing. So but in all fairness, maybe their presentation is not spot on all the time, but it's their need to want peace and balance and equilibrium, so they might elaborate or embellish or accentuate certain aspects, right? Because they feel that's the only way they can present things. So it's not maliciousness, it's not them being devious, it's just sometimes that's how it is construed. You are here saying something and people can construe it some other way. That's what I'm trying to say. They will be, when confronted about any serious issue, for the most part, he will take responsibility, but there are times when he's like, no, I think you got me wrong, that's really not who I am. So there have been times where that has also happened. He does enjoy partnerships, he does enjoy associations with people, and he consciously pursues building those relationships. So Sun conjunct Jupiter, lack of patience, okay, sometimes a little too optimistic. Let's move on. Sun and Saturn, so trine between Sun and Saturn, he's very comfortable with any responsibility that's shoved on him, right? Any responsibility, he's very comfortable with it. He is capable of handling that sort of responsibility, but in terms of his business and financial dealings, he would have been a little bit there would have been a little bit more need to be cautious on his part. As much as he is loyal and responsible and all that, sometimes he does not know how to demonstrate that appreciation when he sees loyalty and understanding from other people, okay? People may feel he's a little bit cold type of thing. Fairly grounded. Oh, come back here. Fairly grounded, fairly reasonable, fairly level-headed. He is very cognizant of his own personal understandings and capabilities. It's so odd. I've been using the word is as in present tense, and we know for sure that he has passed. So his identity has been tied to his personal sense of freedom, like wanting that freedom, wanting that space, wanting to be able to accomplish what he wants, and although he is motivated, there's sometimes where you could see he's kind of shying away from it, but once he gets motivated and going, he's good to go type of thing. Could be defensive at times. So with his square between Sun and Neptune, father figure in his life may have been absent, or not fulfilling for him. So he may have had a glorified image or opinion of his father figure, whoever that is. There have been times when he would have been very susceptible to people taking advantage of him, especially men who are in authoritative positions. Moon in Libra. There's always a great need to have somebody along with him. Like he had to have somebody tag along with him all the time, wherever he goes, even if it is like, not because he was alone or afraid. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sleepy now, but lack of oxygen. But just wanted to always have somebody by him. There is a great need for companionship, okay? Great need for companionship pretty early on in his life. He had the ability to read between lines, very much so, like very much so. So, okay, that's that. Sigma Hardy says, will the person get picked up? We are just getting started, Sigma. Welcome, welcome. So let's now get into the reading, okay? That was a little bit of astrology. So as I said, Charles James Kirk, born on October 14, 1993, died September 10, 2025. So October 14th we know is Libra, and September 10th we know is Virgo. So keep in mind, his moon is in Virgo. So his sun is in Libra, sun in Libra, moon in Libra, Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Virgo, Venus in Virgo. So very interesting. Now for him, he has a 9th house, 10th house and 11th house, okay? Justice Please says, no, Israel had nothing to do with his death, more like Qatar. I don't know where that came from, but okay. So we talk about 9th house, 10th house. Justice Please, thank you for joining us. 9th house, 10th house, 11th house. Let's talk about 9th house. 9th house talks about father figure, right? Luck, fortune. It talks about perception, religion, devotion, publishing, law, new beginnings, discovery, conclusions, long journeys, some of the aspects. 10th house, profession, reputation, moral, life goals, occupations, rank, honor, government, position in life, respect, again, reputation, authority, control, your environment. Again, 10th house is also a different aspect of the father element comes in there. 11th house talks about like-minded people, groups and friends, gains from profession, income, older brothers, profit from trade, acquisition of money and such. These are some of the aspects. Now we'll figure out how it played out. Justice, please hold your comments. That is the reason why I ask. I don't know what you're talking about, Sigma. Now when we talk about, if he's, remember, Sun in Libra and Moon in Libra and Venus in Virgo. Oh, I understand now what you're saying, Justice, please. Okay, I get it. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. All right. So, we'll get into it. This will reveal everything. Like I said, it was a trained person who did this. It wasn't some fellow who was threatening him online or anything like that. This was a trained execution style. It was carried out like one and done. One and done. You cannot take shots like that if you're not trained extensively and you haven't done it in the past and been successful. So I agree with you. I mean, that's a high possibility, but hold your horses. It will come out in the wash. And so let's look at it. If he is Libra, 9th house, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th house is Gemini, right? 10th house is Cancer. And 11th house is Leo. Now, how interesting, because remember, we just had the, just like the JFK stuff. When we talk about, what are we talking about here? The lunar eclipse that just finished, right? 7th and 8th of September. Now, his moon is in Virgo. Now the lunar eclipse was in Aquarius and he's a Libra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What does the fifth house mean? Fifth house denotes learning, children, speculation, past life karmas, dynamic energy, freedom, some of those aspects. Now, if he's a Libra, now Leo is going to be where the the new moon solar eclipse is going to happen, and Leo is his 11th house. What is the 11th house? Like-minded people, groups, and friends. So, to me, in my humble opinion, what this is telling me is this could have something to do with the kind of people he was associating with. And this could also have something to do with the kind of people who have their own associations, like speculations, like, we talk about friends and enemies type of situation, freedoms, and etc. So a lot of back and forth. Now y'all are going to be kind of freaked out. What I'm also sensing here is an element of a lot of back and forth communication has transpired. And this back and forth communication was not necessarily a very civil communication. It wasn't like, oh, it's okay, man, let's just shake hands and part ways as friends, or let's just agree to disagree, and you do, you go, I do. It wasn't communications and conversations and meetings like that. They were fairly contentious, and they were I'm going to say well, if you go, if you got the nerve to do it, you do it, or whatever. And that little bit contentious. Although when you look at him, you don't envision him being that contentious, right? You don't envision him being somebody who would go full on and kind of get all chesty and stuff like that. That does not mean he didn't have the capabilities of doing that. It does not mean that if a person is pushed, they wouldn't do that. You understand what I'm saying? So that has happened within the past, I'm going to say, as recently as 45 days. But I feel this event has been building for a little bit, and I think I did say that in the beginning. Right? So let's move on. So Sigma Hari says there was someone speculating he was going to withdraw support from Israel, and that it would have caused him to put his life in danger. Who knows? Let's read out. Like I said in the beginning, and I'm going to say it again, and those who know and will understand. If you are, and go watch this video, I said this in the beginning. If you're going to play with the big boys, if you're going to be running with the wolves, you have to understand that you're not always going to be the hunter. There are times when you will be hunted as well. I made that very clear. So those who understand and can read between the lines will get it, right? So let's move on. Let's move on. Show me what I need to see, please. So let's move on. So Sigma Hari has deleted all those messages. Well, you got to be brave enough to put out your thoughts out there. I mean, I'm just saying, whatever. Got the moon card. I'm going to take these two. It's got the Leo. Man, it had to be done. This had to happen. It should have happened literally 7th and 8th of September, or around the solar eclipse. Absolutely. There was no way this was not going to happen. There was no way this was not going to happen. It was meant to happen. So hold your horses. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. We have the Justice card, which is Libra, FYI. We have the La Force. And then we have the Aquarius card. So yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I know everybody's very enthused about this, but I suppose just give me 2 minutes, Susie. Let me get the basic cards out and then we can start with the questions, okay? Just give me a couple minutes here. So I want to get the basic cards out and then we can figure out any very unfun. Yeah, let's just go ahead and use this. Bunny, settle down, buddy. Oh my word. Don't make those googly eyes at me. Don't make those googly eyes at me. Let me get the basic cards out and then we can go from there. So we have the Knight of Swords. Quick. Oh my God. Four of Swords. Execution, y'all. I'm telling you. Then you have the Queen of Swords. Look at the energies. And of course he's Libra. That's an air energy, which is Swords. And we have a Nine of Swords. Good Lord. Look at all this energy. And then we have the Six of Wands. Okay. Then we have the Three of Wands. This was fated to happen. There was no way this was not going to happen. And this you have the Two of Wands. Yeah. Then you have the Three of Wands. Oh, wow. Then you have the Queen of Wands. What in the world? And then you have the Page of Swords. How interesting. I have Wands and Swords energy over here. Okay. So let's start with the, let me say Knight of Swords, Four of Swords, Queen of Swords, Nine of Swords, Six of Wands, Three of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Swords, Queen of Wands, and then you have the Page of Swords. So we have two queens pop up, we have two threes pop up. So let's get to the Moon card and the Justice card. So Justice card is a Libra card, and what does that talk about? It talks about, balances and decisions and things like that. So there could have been some sort of a decision he was trying to make, but he was not sure about it. He was like going back and forth, and could have been like, I'm not sure whether I need to do this, I want to do this, or no, I need to think about it. But there's also an element of pressure, a lot of pressure on him. And then you move on to the 11, the Force card, which is Leo. And then on top of that, you have a double Leo. See, if this was not done now, definitely around the solar eclipse, 100% this thing would have been carried out. It was a question of get it done and get it over with. Get it done and get it over with. That's the energy I'm seeing here. And after that, you have the Mars card, and then you have the Star card. Mars, as we know, is the god of war, if you will, rules Aries, and he is a Libra. Let me tell you, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7 partnerships. Okay, it's partnerships. Aries is the 7th house, partnerships. And then you have the Aquarius card, which is the Star card. Star card talks about inspiration, hope, unexpected help from unexpected source, humanitarian activities, humanitarianism, that kind of thought process, creativity, and being a little bit dreamy. So there could have been a element of inflated sense of I can do this for the better of everybody. Knowing very well it was a bit of a contentious situation. But here's the thing. This to me verifies that people knew his capacity and they had to put an end to it, because it would have been to their detriment if he had continued. Okay, let's take your questions before I get into the other cards. So, Susie, what's your question? Susie is like waiting to ask your question, Susie. Susie, I'm waiting for Susie to ask her question. So when Susie says, will this event be a catalyst? If so, what extent? Thanks. Okay. So this is going to definitely be a catalyst, but it is definitely going to be a catalyst. You're going to see a progression of I'm not going to say such type of activities, but it's almost going to, this event is going to contribute to the momentum of a particular agenda. We're going to see it going all the way up until November. And the reason I say it's going to go all the way up until November is, don't we have something in the sessions something in November coming up? So it's going to go all the way up until November. So watch out for that. It is definitely. Now let's talk about the Knight of Swords energy. So this Knight of Swords energy was very, very quick, very quick. So the moment the decision has been made, it was like, pick a date, pick whatever, this is where he's going to be, whatever, get it done. You don't have an option, you don't have, what the hell, you don't have a second chance, just go ahead and do it. Y'all, this is freaking keep creeping me out. Look at this. It looks like a person with a walking stick to me, doesn't it? With the clouds and all that stuff, doesn't it? I don't know where all these images are coming from, and I don't know what. Oh, that's that bottle. Okay, I get that. All right. Then you have the Four of Swords. It had to be done. Had to be done. Give me one sec. Go ahead, Sigma, ask a question, because people are anxious to ask questions. This is something that had to be done. It was quick done. It looks like the Twin Towers. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It had to be done, y'all. There was no way. There was no ifs and buts. The order has been given. Take care of it. Be done with it. And the Four of Swords is saying it wasn't like, oh, just scare him or just, hurt him and then he'll be scared and then it was like completely you need to eliminate. Then you have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is very interesting because we have the Queen of Swords and we have the Queen of Wands. Sigma, ask your question, whatever your question is. Queen of Swords does say that there has been some harsh words exchanged, but domestically within, does that confirm that CPAC or is that you have to wait. I'll get to that in a little bit. So what this is telling me is this kind of harsh communication, orders, reality check, conversations has come from within. So whatever he might have been struggling with in the recent past or contemplating or whatever, knowing very well that it could be contentious, it could be a little situationally hazardous for him type of a thing, it was like no options given. It was this is not negotiable. That's the type of energy. This is not negotiable. And then you have the Nine of Swords, which caused him a lot of anxiety, a lot of grief, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of stress and tension, and the sense of being isolated too, because he's like, who am I going to go and tell this to? Who am I going to take this to? What, even if I take it to somebody and say, hey, I need help with this, what are they going to do to help me? They really can't do, because at the end of the day, he had his own vision, he had his own ideologies, and he wanted to be true to them and stick to them. So when you are so true to yourself and you have your own ideologies and you agendas and your own kind of intentions for the future, not many people are going to be exactly on the same page as you, verbatim, right? It's going to be like, dude, I agree with 8 out of 10, but the 2 I don't agree with type of thing. It's very rarely that you find people who are like full on, bang on, 100% on your side. So there was a little bit of stress. He's like, who am I going to go and ask for advice and help? And whatever. I mean, even if they do, what can they do? I have to be true to myself and stick to myself, because there's also a sense of pride and there's also a sense of ego. Like, I do not want to falter now. I don't want to compromise my all the energy I've gathered up until now, the momentum. I don't want to compromise any of that at the moment by kind of negotiating or doing anything. So he internalized a lot. So was it a group that took him out, or just a few people decide? So it is a group, and I can say, you know, they have their handymen who do these things. So next question, I was just curious about a Franz Ferdinand type of catalyst. Thanks. Okay. Then we have the Six of Wands. So there's something in his agenda in his life where he felt he was very close to being successful. But there's also an element of, to be successful, he had to do some traveling. Okay, Three of Wands is telling me he had to do some traveling to accomplish this. And did he have? It was to expand his base. It was to expand his the coverage for his agenda, his thought process, to expand the support. And then you have the Two of Wands, and which is very interesting. Now we are shifting from all the stressful energies to let's go and take action energy. And Two of Wands talks about, you know, I do believe he had some travel plans, some not just to Utah, but some travel plans. So he was waiting for some sort of communication to be able to travel. I don't know what that is about. And then you have the Three of Swords. Unfortunately, that's where the betrayal steps in. That's where the stabbing in the back. And we know very well that this happened when he was visiting somewhere. So you can take that as that. And also betrayal in terms of finally being let down and understanding that maybe that travel is not necessarily the best of things, but then I made a commitment, I have to follow through. Then you have the Queen of Wands. How interesting, right? So literally the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords are mirroring each other. Now the Queen of Wands, we know, talks about having the self-confidence and assuredness to take out your activities, to not just have plans in your head, but to carry them out as actions, take action. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to have to take action. I know it's going to be a little bit of a sticky situation, but I don't have a choice. I have to take action. And then you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords does talk about there was a lot of gossip, communication, talking, whispers about a particular situation that could have been contentious. He has heard a few whispers here and there, but he didn't take it into consideration. They were warning signs. Hang on, let me just turn on the fan, y'all. Oh, it got hot here. There were warning signs. He just didn't take heed. He didn't take heed. Let me just say this 1 second. What is this? Very, 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 very unfortunate. This is going to create, like I said, it's going to pick up a momentum. So even though they may have, eliminated him thinking that everything is going to be fine, this is kind of going to work in favor of people who share his agenda. So that answers your question, Susie. I know it's weird, but there's nobody standing there. I know it's freaking weird, right? So, actually, let's do this. So A as in alpha, W as in William. The number 1. The number 8. E as in elephant. Wait. 2, 5, right? W as in William again. One more. Oh. And the number 2. Okay. So I'm going to type it out, not in any specific order. So 1, 2, 8, W, W, A, E. So whatever that works out to, right? So let's see. It's very interesting when we talk about. I'm going to delve back a little bit into. Yes, thank you, Debbie. Everybody, please like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, do subscribe. So when we talk about 11th house talks about like-minded people, groups and friends, gains from your profession, and 10th house talks about profession, reputation, and 9th house talks about fortune. 9th house also is indicative of long-distance travel. So I do believe that people around his circle, whoever he socializes with, or his network, or his immediate circle, I do believe people were a little bit aware of a heightened sense of energy around him, and a heightened sense of I'm not going to say anxiety, like, oh, something's going to happen, that kind of a thing. But they don't know what that something is. Absolutely no idea what that something is, right? So, if not around now, this would have carried out definitely by September. By the end of September, this had to be carried out. It's almost like a time frame. So we have Just Be You says, hi, I made it to live, but what I know it is. Thank you for joining us though. So it's a very unfortunate thing, but like I said in the very beginning of this video, and I will say it again, if you are going to run with the wolves and play with the big boys, you have to understand that you're not always going to be the hunter. There may be times when you will be the hunted. And I've said this other thing, also many a time, true power lies not with the king but with the kingmakers. Please understand that, and you know, whatever. So Debbie asked, did he? Yeah, instantly. It was. Debbie, remember I told you there's no way he could have survived that. No way. He didn't make it. You know, all that he's breathing, he's got a pulse or whatever, is probably just to pacify people. On the spot, he was gone. On the spot. So his energy has not yet stepped through. I don't know if his energy will step through, and if and when it does, we will welcome him, and if it doesn't, you know, we will respect that. So let's move on. Let's get some other questions going on over here. This is a very, there's a sense of, oh, the High Priestess pops out. Like almost a heaviness of the eyes. It's like that understanding in that very one last micro millisecond as, oh shit, and the eyes go shut like that. Yeah, it didn't look like he could have. I would have been super surprised if he had survived that. I would have been super surprised. Okay, we have the Magician. We had the High Priestess, right? And then we have the Magician. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, some sort of a, okay, let's, hang on, this is getting interesting. Then we have the Ace of Swords. Very interesting. We get these two. Then we have the Seven of Wands. Then we have the Eight of Cups. He had an opportunity to walk away, but he chose not to. Um, uh, I wouldn't say this is a warning to other politicians, but a particular politician, we can expect some drama there, but we'll get into that. No, I'm not going to do that. Didn't flip. Hang on. Then we have two of swords. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Then we have the Hermit card. Then we have the 8 of Pentacles. Then we have the 10 of Wands. Then we have the 8 of Swords. Man, this is sucky. This is like really pissing me off. He should have heeded his intuition, heeded the advice, and then you have the 5 of Swords. This guy didn't stand a chance. So Susie says, I didn't think so either. I cannot imagine how his wife feels right now. Yeah, trying to remember the last thing you said. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, well, that's the thing. He, like I said in the astrology thing, it's all about, standing up for your thoughts and beliefs and your agendas and, being true to yourself. I said that right in the beginning with the astrology aspect of it. So let's take it further. We have the High Priestess, right? So she's the moon, talks about intuition, quietness. It talks about some information that is being hidden that needs to come out to the surface. That information is very specifically being hidden by the magician, and the magician is Mercury, communication, etc., having the ability to create magic and, just having the ability to make things happen. Wait, what was his kids there? Were his kids over there? I didn't know his kids were there. Somebody explain to me. Somebody tell me, please. Were his kids right there when this happened? Oh my God. Oh, I hope not. I hope to God not. Did it happen in front of his kids? Seriously? I hope not. I don't know about that though. Anyway, so we have the magician over here. So some back and forth communication would have, oh my God, and his wife, oh my God, so they saw it all, oh my goodness. Very reminiscent of JFK's situation, except that his kids were not there. I can't. That his daughter was in the tent area with him. Oh my God. Okay, so let's figure this out. So there is some sort of a communication attempt being made to somebody in power, but also keeping things hidden. So all was not transparent over there, right? All was not transparent. So, Debbie, hang on, you're getting ahead, hang on. So, I should have got my, magnifying glass here. Let me just do this. Wow. So it's almost like a conversation of you have to toe the line, you have to follow the model, follow the rules, and a communication of, but, and then maybe we'll cut you some slack, but communication of, but I'm obliged to be true to myself. I'm obliged to carry out my agenda that I've been true to. So that sort of communication with the magician. And then you have the Six of Pentacles. So there has been some sort of back and forth in like a trade-off kind of negotiation kind of a situation. And then you have the Ace of Swords. So for him, in that back and forth communication, in that back and forth whatever they might have been talking to as such, there has been a sense of clarity that, oh shit, I'm a little over my head. I'm a little bit over my head. And then the feeling, the energy of the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands energy is like, I have to protect myself. I have to, it almost seems like, hey, if it's not you, we'll get somebody else in place of you type of thing. But so for him, it's like almost he had to clarity of thought and realize that he has to do whatever he can to protect his agenda, protect himself. See, the thing with him was he's very staunch and very stuck on his agenda. If he were a little bit more flexible, I don't think things would have gotten this far. He would have probably taken a step back, and he would have probably sat it out for a little bit and let somebody else do the talking and somebody else do the promoting, and then he would have stepped back in. Or he might have made an announcement saying that, because of family responsibilities, I'm going to have to focus on other things at the moment, so therefore I'm giving the responsibility to somebody else. That type of thing, there's a possibility that could have happened. Eight of Cups is saying that emotionally he was checked out, man. He was like, this is when I say emotionally checked out, very disappointed in and very disappointed and very feeling let down and feeling the veil is lifted, it's not all la 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 kind of stuff, the reality sets in. And then you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords does talk about, he was in a situation where he realized he has to compromise and make a decision. But then Ten of Pentacles does talk about, I'm so vested in this, I've come so far, I do not want to take that step. It's a question of pride that gets in the way, that I do not want to give in because then I have failed. And then you have the Hermit card. Did he have a option? What is the Hermit? Hermit is a Virgo card, and he's a Libra, right? Virgo is a 12th house. Did he have an opportunity? Should he have taken a step back? Should he have kind of been quiet a little bit? He should have. Did he do it? I hope he did. I hope he took a few days off or whatever. So I assume he did. Well, right after that we have the Eight of Pentacles. So I do believe he took a break, and then he came back because he's like, no, I have to continue. And then you have the Ten of Wands. Interesting, you have the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Wands. So Ten of Wands is telling me here that, there was a sense of being a little burdened, but almost like, if I can just push through this for a little bit, I think I'll be fine kind of a thing. And then you have the Eight of Swords. But the problem is, by him being so staunch and so stubborn about his agenda, he kind of put himself in an Eight of Swords situation where he had tied himself and into a little bit of a knot and couldn't get out of it, but he did that. And then you have the Five of Swords energy right after that, and the Five of Swords, there was some violence. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple of warnings in the past, and might have been disregarded and foo-fooed and saying, this is all bah humbug. But there were definitely warnings in the past. Absolutely, there were warnings in the past. So let's look at the question. This was some sort of a comeback. Does anyone know why he had... Oh, actually it shows here, you have the Hermit and then the Eight of Pentacles. So coming back after a little time off. Will the responsible be held accountable? No, I doubt it. They shot straight through the main artery. 100%. Like I said, Justice Please, I said in the beginning, this was like a one and done, kill shot. It's like, be done with it. This is not some ding dong ding along sitting there playing with guns and saying, oh, I'm going to go do this, this is somebody who's been trained, this is somebody who has done this in the past, this is somebody who has a confidence, who has been specifically assigned this responsibility because he or she knows exactly how to do these things, how to carry out these things, has been successful, has done it in the past, and we'll do it again in the future. But this is somebody who has the ability to just meld away into the background. All these things about, it was somebody threatening him or no. There was no, the kind of threats was more like a messenger, like, hey, so-and-so called and said this, and so-and-so said this, and subtle messages, subtle innuendos, that kind of stuff. So, man, my heart is so broke right now, particularly when you guys are saying that his family was right there. I mean, to have read that, and somebody, D over here, hi D says, I read on Telegram site that his daughter was in the tent area with him. I mean, the trauma. I can't. That is too much. Okay, I'm going to turn off the fan because I'm like that. So y'all know the drill, right? I'm hot, I'm cold. Okay, so now we can do. You can ask me your questions, and then we'll pull up some more cards. There was an individual here earlier who wanted to ask me a question. Lynette 3X. Hi Lynette, I just saw your name. I forget this person's name. Let me go back and see if I can find her name. Not Cheryl. AR2001, you said you have a question. So what is your question? Please ask me a question. Oh, my poor baby is all sleepy-eyed. AR2001, do you have a question? It's so sad the kids won't remember him, but it may be for the best, given that, being young, right? But you never know how trauma sits in the brain cells, right? AR2001, what is your question? Okay, so we'll let AR come back if he or she chooses to. But in the interim, do any of y'all have any questions? Okay, so I'm going to do my thing here. If this had anything to do with I can confirm that sorry, it's loud here, that the whole angle of, the specific countries and the drama that been clashing in universities, this does have a little bit of that involved. Absolutely, I can confirm that. So nobody has any questions, or has my computer frozen? Okay, let's go on and read. So nobody has any questions. Let's get on with this. I'm going to say, for all practical purposes, it should have been, because if it was from ground level, then other people would have seen. So it must have been from on top of a building or something like that. So it couldn't have been like where everybody is standing at the same level, because people would have seen, right, somebody take out a weapon and do that, because that was definitely a rifle. It wasn't like a small gun or something like that. So, oh, I love this. This book still smells new. But we will. This is very clearly a situation where it was, you cannot miss. This is a one and done. This is not a warning. This is, you have an order, go there and take care of it. Basically, that's what it was. The Strength card again. I'm using a different set of cards. The Strength card again. I'll take these. Then have the King of Gifts. Then have the Seven of Gifts, which is Pentacles basically, and the World card. Yeah, y'all, I think we should expect some more drama, y'all. And then we have the Sun card. No, this is not the kind of confirmation I want. Not the kind of confirmation, y'all. Leo. You know who else is who else has got strong Leonine energy? Trump. There's somebody else who's going to have to go through a similar situation. We'll see it now. From now, we'll see it now. It's going to be, from now all the way until November, we're going to see some contentious energies. So Susie's question is, has anybody been targeted by the same person? Not in this country. Yes, I did say that, Debbie. I did say that. To answer your question, Susie, not in this country. Susie says, will anyone else be targeted by the same person? Okay, I have to clarify. This person has done this before, but not here, in another country. Is now understanding your question, will anybody else be targeted by the same person? Not necessarily by the same person, but by the group. So Suzuki says, Debbie, I said that earlier when I had no friends in chat. Very, very like the New Year reading. Yeah, okay. Now I understand. You did say that. Then you have the Hermit card. I'm going to take these cards and these cards. Then we have the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Candles, that would be the Wands, Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords. The wrong person is going to be incriminated. That is, look here, don't look there. Hierophant, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. See, these queens, they come out in pairs. Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot card, the Eight of Cups. Wow. So this is, whoever this is, who's responsible for this has melded into the background. Is this same person going to do somebody else here? No. But they've done it in the past in a different country. So this will be the same group that might come after somebody. At the moment, they're all behind the scenes regrouping and trying to figure out what's the best way to proceed from here, because Five of Pentacles does say that a little bit of concern, a little bit of stress with regards to hey, is this going to escalate? Are we going to? There's always that element of we don't want to get caught. If we do, how do we deal with it, and that sort of stuff. They're also purposefully isolating themselves, the group, for the moment. Then you have the Ten of Swords. So purposefully isolating and feeling a little bit stressed, because I also believe that the person who's responsible for this may be stressing out, because saying that, hey, where's my backup support? There could be a timeline. Not that this person is going to be thrown to the wolves or thrown under the bus, but there's a little bit of a, like, you got to get out of there fast. So a little bit situation. Then Eight of Swords is saying hiding low, staying low. Hi Tay, good to see you. Staying low for a while, forced to stay low for a while. Then you have the Tower card and the Hierophant. It's interesting because what is the Tower card? It talks about destruction. The Tower card talks about sudden changes and unexpected actions. And then the Hierophant is government agencies, correct? Hierophant is organizations, institutions, rules. You have to confirm mercy, compassion. So the government is going to come out and claim some weird all stuff. And then you have the Queen of Wands. And let me tell you, whatever they're going to come out with and say, it's all literally going to be look here but not there. So there is a chance they might find a patsy. Queen of Cups. But see the overwhelming emotions over here from the people, from the public who witnessed this, who have seen it on TV, etc., etc. It's not going to be satisfactory enough of an explanation, look here, not there, to calm down people. This is actually going to start a momentum. It's going to pick up speed. It's going to pick up. And then you have the Chariot card. What is the Chariot card? It's Cancer. It talks about success, motion, moving forward with balance, moving forward with fortitude, moving forward with the understanding of the energies around you, right? So we have Cancer and he's a Libra. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 12, 11, 10th house. Yeah, people in his profession, in the field, they're going to be moving forward. Now you're going to start hearing little things come out in the news with regards to his character, almost like a character assassination type of thing, unfortunately. Then you have the Eight of Cups, and people are going to be like, oh, we didn't know this, we didn't know that, we always thought there was something amiss. Like, people are going to come out and say things like that, because character assassination after a person is gone is not good, right? Anything, don't speak ill of the dead is what they say. But now people are going to come to the realization that maybe this is forced on them, or maybe this is their own personal discovery that he was not all that he was made out to be. There's going to be some controversy over there. People are going to start disagreeing with his agenda, because look here, not that type of a diversion tactics, right? Sunshine's leaving. Hey, bye Sunshine. And Sunshine, before you go, to answer your question, I think I did a reading on John O'Keefe, and I think I did a reading on that group of people, but then again I said I will do individual readings, so sometime I will pick up on that and do it. I have to go back and look and see, Amanda Cosper says, hello from Utah, the person of interest was just released. So this person is still out there. So yeah, exactly. And the moment I saw that guy, that old guy, with the blue shirt, them carrying him, he is not the guy. He's not the guy. What else do I need to see? The Emperor. King of Cups. Three of Coins. Wow, this is interesting. So if he's a Libra, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, his partnership with a specific individual, his support to a specific individual, or a specific individual in power, his support to him is going to be lacking now. There's going to be a little bit of overwhelming emotions in terms of why aren't you showing the support that is required? Why aren't you doing something? And then you have the Three of Pentacles. There is going to be some sort of a partnership saying that, okay, fine, we'll do this, we'll do that. But really, nothing's going to come of this. I doubt if this investigation is going to go very far. I hate to say. Thank you, Deb, for that. Yes, please join my membership. I would greatly appreciate it. I would appreciate your support. I do readings for members. Today, of course, I didn't make it members only because of this case, but typically on Wednesdays, my readings are exclusively for members, and I do answer personal questions and all that stuff. I'm still waiting for AR2001 to ask her question or his question, so I don't know what happened to that individual. So, anywho, any other questions, y'all? It was instant, y'all. There's no way he could have survived that. Like, oh, he's still breathing and, they're giving him oxygen. Yeah, no, there was no way he could have survived that. That was a kill shot, y'all. If anybody, even if you're not, I'm not an expert in ammunition and all that stuff, y'all. I'm not in no way, shape or form, but for somebody who's been an armchair detective or seen a lot of these movies, you can tell that's a kill shot. I mean, simply, I hate to use those stock words, but then the amount of blood that gushed out, how could you? And the first thing I said was it went to the jugular and must have cut off the brainstem also, must have gone in through here and cut off the brainstem. So that's instant. That's the only consolation, right? But I see that his eyes were like slowly shutting down. So in that fraction of a second, the realization that things are not all right is there. I can tell you his energy has not moved on. That much I can tell you. It's still in the state of shock. But very traumatic, very traumatic. Queen of Coins, Queen of Wands. Y'all, have you noticed these queens are coming up together? Have you noticed that in this reading? I had the Queen of Wands, Queen of Coins, and that is Queen of Pentacles, then Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. These queens are popping up in twos here. So there is some very strong energy over there. So let's figure this out. Justice card. The Magician's come out couple times already. And let's do Five of Wands. Yeah, y'all. See, this is the thing. It's the hidden agendas, and it's a clash of emotions, morality, and actions. Right? It's the understanding of this may not be the best route to take, but yet wanting to stick and be true to yourself has caused him some issues. There has been some sort of a communication in the past, and then you have the Justice card, and Justice card is a Libra card. It talks about balances, decisions, court. So I wonder if there was some sort of a threat being made that we're going to take you to court too. And look at this card. Do I need to say anything else? So, and then you have the Magician. What is the Magician? Mercury, communication, the ability to create, travel, the strong masculine energy. And the Five of Wands, he got into it with somebody else, or somebody got into it with him. Like somebody on the domestic front and somebody who is not on the domestic front. It's like two intense energy. He got into it. Whatever, contentious energy over there. Okay, So Sigma Hardy says, I do want to ask my questions. Well, why not? Like I said, now you can ask your questions. Susie Q says, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Susie is absolutely right. I mean, we all we agree, and sometimes we disagree, and sometimes we are like, no, that doesn't seem right, or whatever. We have our opinions. We are entitled to our opinions, and you never know. You never know. Anyway, everybody's free to ask their questions. So, any other questions you all have? See, give me 1 second. Let me find this thing. I think oh. Give me 1 second. Hang on. Actually, let me not do that because I'm most likely going to. Where's my live stream? I'll do it on my phone. He holds majority votes. Wait, let me see. Oh, he holds majority votes. Okay. I'm going to use my phone because I don't want to mess with my screen. I have something that I want to look up astrology wise. Let me check my charts. And hang on 1 second, okay? Okay. So okay, so we did. So let's look at this. Let's look at, I'll tell you this right now. 10th house. Oh, dang. I'm sorry. 10th. Hang on, everybody. Okay. Let's take a look. See, here's the thing. The 11th house in astrology. So 9th house, 10th house, and 11th house, I feel like if he had survived, he would have been paralyzed. Okay? But the 11th house very specifically talks about the left ear also. So I wouldn't be surprised if the bullet has had something near the left ear. Of course, we saw it was in the front, but they could have also exited out of the left ear. So give me 1 second. I'm going to confirm this to you. Okay. Aries, head, brain, and face. So, Taurus is throat, neck, and lips. So let me go back to astrology chart. So let me look at his astrology chart. Taurus and Aries, where you at? So if he's a Libra, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 and 7th house, 8th and 7th house. Aries, Lilith in Aries, 10 degrees 29, okay. And then Taurus and Aries. Man, he would not have survived this. Even if he had, he would have been in his own misery of paralysis and stuff like that. But very clearly, something to do with the left ear also. I think I said that, Debbie, right? Immediately when this happened, did I not say left ear or something? So let's see. Jamie, hi. I know, it's very sad. So, wait, so Sigma Adi says Conservative Political Action Conference. Oh, didn't know that. Would it be a well-known organization that we would all know? Yeah, absolutely it would. But keep in mind, so well-known organizations are the front. They are, like I say time and again, true power lies not with the king but with the kingmaker. So the people who are behind the scenes, who are, so-called lobbyists of these organizations or funding these organizations, they are the ones. It's where all conservatives go to meet. Okay. Okay, so his own group. Well, Golightly says, so his own group issued it, a sacrificial lamb. Why? What's the purpose? What did he? So I'm not going to say his own group issued it. This is, there's a possibility that there could have been a conflict. So does it mean his own group executed him? No, I'm not going to say that. But keep in mind that they are people who use organizations as a front for their own agendas. So, yeah, that's the thing. I think it might be, right? But see, then again, Sigma, we have to consider, just because he said he was going to speak up about Gaza doesn't mean he was going to be highly threatening. But then again, the following he had with the younger generation, and particularly university students. I'm not going to get into politics right now, Sigma, because for my own sanity, for my own physical safety and whatever, I have to be careful. Exactly. Hi Jamie, good to see you. So one thing I wanted to say, remember that question that guy asked, what percentage of gay or some quote unquote, because I don't know, some people, the minority people, I don't know whether he said gays and lesbians or he said transgender people are responsible for mass shootings, and he said too many. I thought for a second, and right after that it happened, for a second immediately my mind went to, was that the go ahead? So I could be wrong. So any other questions, y'all? If y'all don't have any other questions, I could stop this. Yeah, exactly, what percentage of trans people? And right after that this happened, and I was like, holy moly, this is like, he was very young to be this influenced. Exactly, he was 31, 32 years old, 31, right? So too young to be this influential. So dangerous, no? And to have that kind of a following of the next generation. So imagine how much of a chaos that would have caused. Like imagine when if he was able to mobilize all these people in the next elections, he could have gone not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, gone as an independent, and for all you know, he could have won the elections. Okay, any other questions, y'all? I'm going to put these away and I'll take out another set. Any other questions? I wonder if that was the that was the first thought that came into my head. Was that like got the all clear sign type of thing? And that's what scared me. But we don't know, right? I mean, it's all, our opinions and observations and, allegedlys, right? Let me see what's next for Charlie Kirk. We know he's not in the physical world, but with regards to this situation, what's next? Well, I got bit by a mosquito in the afternoon and it's hurting so bad, and I'm so mad at the mosquito because I couldn't get it. So Katie, real world problems, right? Just joining and rewatch. Glad I caught the end of that. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us, Katie. He could have rose quickly in the bar. He absolutely. I mean, he has a brilliant career in front of him. I mean, also go watch the readings I did. Sorry, y'all. Go watch the readings I did for week ahead, readings for September, and I also did the month ahead for September. And go, because he's a Libra. Go watch his sign, and he's a Libra sun and his moon is in Libra too. So go watch that. You might be surprised. I have to go watch it too. What did I say there? Because honestly, I don't remember. Even if he had stood, whether he stood for Democrat or Republic or Independent, I have a feeling he would have gone Independent. I mean, he would have. What if he had joined hands with Elon Musk? Let's take a look. Would he have joined hands with Elon Musk, forming a third party? Wouldn't that be something? Hang on, Amanda. So I want to see if Charlie Kirk would have joined Elon and they would have formed the third party. Actually, let me see that, because now I'm curious. Would Charlie Kirk have joined Elon and formed a third party? Nope. The Sun card. Freaking yay. Yeah. Oh my God. So sad. New beginnings. Wow. Y'all, this is flipping crazy, y'all. Eight of Pentacles. They would have worked together. Oh my goodness. Ace of Swords. Good Lord. One more card, please. Page of Cups. Let me take two more cards. Okay. Ten of Pentacles. Holy moly. Six of Pentacles. Y'all, this is slam dunk. I would not. Okay. Hindsight is 2020. Unfortunately, Charlie's not with us anymore. It's terrible. Whatever it is, it's terrible, right? But now he's a martyr, right? So my question was, would he have joined Elon and started a third party in the 2028 elections, right? I feel absolutely, or 29 or whenever. We have the Sun card and the Fool card. Sun card is a go ahead, is a yes. Okay, and the Fool card is new journeys, new beginnings. Then you have the Eight of Pentacles. They would have been working together. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in communication with each other. Ace of Swords, total clarity of thought, totally clear about new agendas, new journeys, new travels, new options, new ideologies. Page of Cups, okay, that young energy, that Elon would have 100% backed him, young energy. And then Ten of Pentacles, success. Six of Pentacles, give and take with absolutely, they would have had a great partnership. I wouldn't be surprised if they had already communicated with each other. I wouldn't be surprised. And been talking about this very same thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I just said it. I wouldn't be surprised if they have been communicating with each other. So, let me ask. Wait, who was this? Who asked this question? Katie, not Katie. Some Amanda says 9/11 always scares me. Do you see if you are safe or should we be worried? 9/11. Let's see. September 11th. That is tomorrow. All right. Yeah. Saturn, restrictive. America's Cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th house is where Aquarius is. Cancer, second house, okay. 8th house is where the lunar eclipse was, and second house is where the solar eclipse is going to be. And then we have Saturn. Cancer is ruled by the moon. And look, Cancer is ruled restrictions, restrictive energies. Some sort of restrictive energies. Restrictive energies. Page of Wands, a new watch, the Justice card, the Fool card, the Five of Swords, a bit restrictive energy. There may be some plans on travel or some sort of a ban on travel or some sort of limitations like that. Six of Cups, wishing things could be the way they were. There's a little bit of a restrictive energy tomorrow, but am I going to say though we're going to have a calamity? Hopefully not. I don't see that calamity, but then I do feel there could be some sort of a travel restriction, travel ban, or maybe some flights cancelled or whatever. And then we have the Justice card again. A new approach to protecting our domestic security within the compound walls of America, within the borders of the country. There's going to be a new approach to security. I'm not talking about security overseas in American bases. I'm talking about security within the country. There's going to be some new talk and new communication with regards to that. Could be. You know how it happens, Susie, right? You're welcome, Amanda. So Sigma is asking, what is the question? Something, was he a Russian asset? Who was a, Go Lightly says, was he a Russian asset? Who was a Russian asset? What are you talking about? Go Lightly, I don't know. Nothing was said overnight, nothing like that, nothing dramatic like that. It was all well executed. This individual is somebody who is very fit, and I don't know, for some reason I keep seeing like curly blondish hair, like light hair. Very calm and very cool and collected, and but a little bit of concern about laying low. Some sort of a support has not come through to help that individual lay low. He is definitely laying low. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what else do we need to know about Charlie Kirk before we close for tonight? Any messages from Charlie Kirk? Talk to us, Charlie. What do you have? Justice, the Lover's card, the Fool card, Five of Swords, Page of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Wow. So the Lover's card doesn't necessarily mean it's an intimate relationships. It does talk about partnerships. It's also duality. So justice, something is going to come to light in terms of his associations, his groups and friends, and people who he had partnerships and understandings with. There's going to be some new sort of a litigious situation pop up with regards to that. Page of Wands, information is going to be coming through, action is going to follow through, and that action is actually going to cause the Five of Wands energy, which is some internal fights, either within the organization or within a particular group. So let's wait and watch for that. So I'm going to stop this, y'all, because God knows I'm getting a little bit... We'll pick up this case again. It's not the last. Epic Goddess. Hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I was just about to shut it down. So please feel free to go and watch the whole video. I also want to say, for those of you who joined me, thank you so much. Some of you I hadn't seen in a while. I'm so glad you all joined. I appreciate you all. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments, and such. And do join for a membership. That would be really helpful to me. And Wednesdays, this Wednesday, of course, I didn't do exclusive because this is an important case. It just happened right now. But I do personal questions because it's a closed group, right? It's members only, and I don't televise that because you can ask your personal questions also. So give you all an opportunity of privacy and things like that for your own safety and security type of situation. So other than that, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you guys and girls for being here. I so appreciate that. You all know that. Go and watch the week ahead and month ahead. And again, keep in mind that those are general, right? Those are general energies. But man, this guy, I feel so sad for him, man. And his moon also in Libra. He's got Mercury in Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio. This had to, whenever he would have had to pass from the physical world, it would have been quick. That's in his fate. It would never have been fall sick and illness and whatever. It would have always been quick. That's the one thing that's glaring at me over here. So thank you everybody. I so appreciate you all. Be happy, right? Be safe. Be healthy. Blessed be you all. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. See you on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to read on Friday, but let me know if you'll have any suggestions. I know I haven't seen you in a while, Sunshine Dragonfly, and some other folks also. So thank you for being here, everybody. All right. Have a good night, y'all. Take care. Bye. And